What's up, guys? So we're here at Suzuki Makati, and I just finished the first PMS of my Jigsaw Tao. So there's something that I've been wanting to discuss. Siguro while I'm here, um, kasi a lot of people before I started riding, or rather, nag-start na ako mag-ride. I used to rock fully custom TMX 155. So when I was starting to parang gusto ko na mag big bike. A lot of people told me, dumiretso ka na ng dumiretso ka na ng liter bike, dumiretso ka na ng like 900. Wag ka na dun sa mga 650s. That's what they recommended sa akin. But after using this bike, let me tell you, it the answer is no. I mean, if you're coming from a TMX 155 and you go straight to this type of bike, hindi eh. This is a 200 horsepower bike on paper. So, if you're coming off a 155 with a clutch and you take this bike, it's a different animal. And ika nga, sabi ni Uncle Ben, and with great power comes great responsibility. So, itong bike na to, you cannot take it lightly. 200 horsepower is a lot to handle. I can't even push this to its limits. Kasi it's that scary. I came off from a wait, that's a CB that passed by. So I came. My very first bike was a TMX 155. Maybe I'll flash it on the screen somewhere. That was my very first bike. I had that for over a year, and then soon after that, I got myself a Royal Enfield 650. Kasi medyo ma-classic yung background ko because my father also rides bikes. So I grew up around classic bikes. After my Royal Enfield 650, wala pang 6 months, I wanted to sell it na. So I got myself a CB 650. Soon after that, I was able to swap my Royal Enfield 650 with a Harley 883. And then, nung nakuha ko yung CB 5, 6 months after that, binenta ko din siya. And this is the replacement of my old 2023 black CB650. And having that much experience kasi I started riding about 4 or 5 years ago. Pero I ride pretty much every day. If it's not raining, wala akong dalang gamit, wala akong kasamang ibang tao, I ride. From dung 4 years na yun, I've been riding religiously. And I can honestly say, if you're coming from a 150cc bike and you go straight to 1,000, some would argue na you can get away with a modern liter bike kasi it has ride modes, has traction control and all that. Pero hindi eh. Kasi matetempt kang magmabilis. It's it's a sport. I mean, if hindi sports bike on trip mo, let's say you go to a liter adventure bike, well, hindi pa rin eh kasi those bikes are really expensive. And if it's your first time, if halimbawa zero experience and you're gonna get an adventure bike na Delitro, eh, chances are you're gonna drop your bike. And I mean, if ganun ka kayaman, why not? I mean, you can naman put mga crash guards, engine guards, sliders and whatnot. So anyway, you can get away with pero ako ano pa lang ako eh. Hindi pa ako ganun kayaman not to care if I drop my bike. So if let's say you have absolutely zero experience na mag big bike, wala ka ring experience mag small displacement bike, I would recommend na first mag-training kayo. Mag-training kayo, like, let's say, go to Motoclide. I'm also trained by Motoclide. Shout out to Motoclide, Tito Erwin, and the coaches, Coach Clyde, and everyone. Nag-training ako sa Motoclide when I was already about 3 months in riding big. Nakapag-Baguio Balikan na ako nung nag-train ako with Motoclide, and I can honestly say madami pa ako natutunan. Hindi kasi yung mga maneuvers na ginagawa mo on a daily basis, hindi mo siya yung gagawin sa training, hindi mo yung ginagawa on a daily basis. So, it's a good idea if you're coming from zero experience na dun ka muna, nag-training ka muna, use their bikes. Okay lang malaglag kasi it's kasama naman yun sa babayaran nyo eh. Go train with them first before you go get yourself a big bike. So, nandito, we have a few bikes on that side. Let's check them out and I'll give you some recommendations. As sa first big bike mo, if you're coming from zero experience pero nag-training ka na. So, kasi yung training na yun is what? You can finish it in a day. So, having a day of experience, although medyo kahit technical yung course nila, yung mga tinuturo nila, hindi pa siya enough. So, uh, yung mga things to look out for when you're choosing your bike is syempre yung power, yung height. That's very important because you have to be comfortable with the bike, diba? So, ito a good example of a very height, yung maayos yung ano niya. Hindi siya masyadong mataas. So, people who are challenged with their height will be very comfortable with this bike. This and this bike have the same engine. So this is the Rebel 500. This is the CB 500F. They have the same engine, same inline 2 500cc. These are great beginner bikes. So after mo mag-motoclide, you go here, kay Wheeltech. They'll hook you up with one of these bikes. This is a good beginner bike. This one, this is a SV650. So it's a little bit more powerful than these bikes. Ito is I think around nasa 70, 75-ish horsepower. L-twin liquid cooled. It's a little bit torquier than let's say these two engines kasi ito is a flat plane eh. So 180-degree crank. It's a little bit gutless in the low end. Well, as compared to let's say a cross-plane engine like the GSX 8S. That's a new bike by the way, so we'll get into that later. So this is an L-twin. So hindi siya ano eh. Big bikes are not all about displacements. Kasi I have an 883cc cruiser pero itong dalawang to will iiwan nila ako. I mean, not even close. Hindi ako aabot sa kanila kahit sagad ako. Baka nga hindi pa kalahati yung piga nitong dalawang bike na to. Napapag-iwanan na ako doon sa 883cc where this is 650, this is 500. So it's not all about displacement. So here we have the 800. This is the new, very, very fresh GSX 8S. 8S, yeah, tama. So this is a cross-plane 270-degree crank na inline 2 engine. And this is the old GSX S 750. 750 to, 800 to. But malayo ang nito. Malayo ang power nito. This supports an inline 4 750cc engine. And this is inline 2. So, bakit mas mataas ang displacement nito? Pero bakit may iiwan siya nitong 750? Kasi again, it's not all about the displacement. So, yung engine type nito, this is an inline 4. This is an inline 2. So, 2 is bigger than 4. So, it's not just yung 2. Hindi lang porke mas marami yung cylinders is mas mabilis na. But the tuning of this engine is the same engine as the old GSX R 750. So an inline 4 sport engine. So it's really hard to compare these two from an 800cc and a 750cc. This will take out this bike by a long shot. Some liter bikes will have a hard time keeping up with this. kahit let's say mga adventure bikes natin like the V-Strom 1050 compared to this Suzuki GSX S 750, malayo eh. Because it's not always about the displacement of the bike. But this is a lot torquier than this bike. Because it has an inline 2 engine eh. Cross-plane 270-degree crank. Mas malakas yung ratsyada niya kapag piniga mo siya on the low end. Pero on the top end, kapag duluhan na kayo, malayo na. Malayo ng agwat nitong bike na to kumpara dito. So, wow, this actually looks really good in person. So, you guys should check this out. Another bike that for a beginner, I think one of the things that I enjoyed about my old CB, it's actually pretty beginner friendly. Why? Okay. So, itong inline 2 engine na to, kapag piniga mo siya, sobrang abrupt ng torque yung throttle response niya. Whereas itong inline 4s, typically most inline 4 engines, dulo pa yung peak torque niya. So you have to wring the bike out a bit to really feel the punch. So in a beginner standpoint, that seems like as a better way of getting yourself into that category na inline 4 ka. Kasi pag piniga mo yan, it's gonna my old CB, pag piniga mo yan under like 4,000, it feels gutless. Pero if you push it around 6 to 8,000 RPM, that's when she's really gonna fly. So in a beginner standpoint, having that peak power a little bit higher in the rev range is gonna give you a little bit more safety. Na kahit piga mo siya ng todong ganyan, hindi ka raratsyada, hindi ka lilipad, hindi ka magwiwili. So, that's one of the things you should consider, yung engine. So, don't think of it, 800 to, 750 to, mas mabilis tong 800. No. Kasi the R7 is a 700cc engine, the R6 is an inline 4, pero sobrang malayo. Like, the R6 has probably 50 more horsepower than the R7. So it's not always about displacement. So here we have other bikes. So another Gixxer Tao. So here's a V-Strom. I think this is I don't know. I think this is the 800DE. So it's a new release then in Suzuki together with the 8S. So it has the same engine. So most of our manufacturers like Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, we have different body types pero same engine. So these two, ito, Rebel, and then this CB500X all have the same engine. So what Suzuki has done is they created an inline 2 na crossplane. This is a 800cc. So this is a V-Strom 800DE, and that right there is the 800 GSX 8S. So 800cc, 800cc is the same engine. So this bike, the V-Strom 650, has the same engine as that SV 650 right here and right there. So a lot of options. So it's up to you whether you want something torquey, saan ka ba komportable? Do you have, let's say, matangkad ka ba? If you're a little bit shorter, you can go with a cruiser type. You can go, this is an MTO9. If you're a beginner, you stay away from this bike because, no, sorry, this is an MTO7. Okay. MTO7 supports a cross-plane engine, then CP2, 700, sub 700cc. These bikes are pretty torquey then eh. Crossplanes in general are a little bit more torqueier talaga than yung flat plane counterpart nila na 180 degree crank. As a beginner, medyo ako dito sa bike na to. Hindi ako masyadong kampante na kung let's say wala nag-motoglide ka and you go straight to this. Siguro you have to build that maturity kasi na alam mo sa sarili mo na this is a very intimidating bike. hindi ako dapat basta-basta pipiga dito. I have to control myself. So, dun yung safety mo talaga papasok eh. You can't just ride a bike because you've done the training, you've done 1 day or 3 days of training, and feel like kaya mo na kahit anong bike. Because it took me a while to get to comfortable na alam ko sa sarili ko that I can control a liter bike. So that's about it. So shout out to my guys at Team BGC. And to my bros at Motoclide. So go check them out. Their school is in Santo Tomas, but I believe they have a new school sa Pampanga. I'm not sure where, so you guys should look them up. And yeah, so that's my review. Don't get a leader bike if you're just new to riding. Go get yourselves the proper training. Get a lower CC bike, train with that for a few months, and then go get yourself a bigger bike. Mag-progress kayo. No? Kasi you don't go to the gym and you lift the heaviest dumbbell that you can. Because you can't. You can't lift the heaviest dumbbell unless you've grown into it. So same as with riding a bike, you grow into the bike, you upgrade, para at least, hindi ka magsasawa. I mean, if nag-start ka sa pinakamalakas na bike, wala ka nang kasunod doon. So that's about it. And game. So the journey na sa pagbibig bike mo is wala na, tapos na. Kasi ano pa kailangan mong upgrade? Ano pa yung upgrade mo? So, yeah. GSX R1000 is a pretty fast bike. It's a stupid fast bike. And if you want to get into riding, don't get a liter bike as your first bike. It might put you into an accident, or worse, it could kill you. So, progress lang. Don't just because you have money doesn't mean you should get the fastest bike or the top end bike. So just enjoy the ride. Enjoy yung pag increase ng skill level mo, and just enjoy the ride.